It's Clobberin time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
Clobberin time! Clobberonimo!
Come get some.
It's Clobberin time!
The word is given.
Clobberonimo!
Oh, yeah. Greetings, clobberers, clobberonimos, clobberarians, clobberuskis, clobbles, thistles, and clobble vattles. And for those who do not yet clobber, don't forget you will learn one day if you remember that the secret is to bang the rocks together, guys. Yeah. Welcome to Clobberin Times issue number 503 on YouTube. Over the past 15 years, of course, 1,503 overall. I forgot to put that on the. I thought I reprogrammed that thing. Crap. Oh well. I'll have to fix that in post. But anyway, happy Memorial Day to you all, my dear friends. I hope everyone had an extraordinary and memorable Memorial Day weekend. I hope you all had a great one. It's good to see you all on this very important, beautiful holiday that we celebrate. And celebrating freedom in the what little we have left of it, we celebrate it. No matter how much it is being threatened, and freedom's always under threat, but the idea and the concept remains strong in many of us, and we'll keep it alive always for those who are no longer alive to enjoy it, but gave their lives to protect it for us. Exactly, Linrod. Exactly. And we'll start off. We're going to do just an open geek thing tonight, of course, comics. But we have to start out at least solemnly about that. So before I do my shout outs and shout outs, I'm going to do, like I did last night, just a moment of silence for all of the great heroes who gave their lives for freedom for everyone in the Western world. Obviously, this wonderful country that we live in now and the Western world itself. And so I'm going to go ahead right now and give just a few seconds of silence, and then we'll get on with that. And we can't leave dead air for too long, but Again, just thank you. I'm always embarrassed by just saying thank you, just in general, just throwing a thank you out there. But we all have to be thankful. We all should be thankful and be mindful of it as well. The only way you can even come close to thanking all those wonderful people who did die for freedom is to try to keep it alive. And we're not doing a great job of keeping it alive right now because it's very difficult when we're up against what we're all up against. It just happens to be a sad fact of life. We're not going to get into any politics or anything like that. I don't do politics. It is a sad fact of life that there are a great number of human beings in the human condition that don't appreciate, respect, or understand human, freedom as much as some of us do, unfortunately. We'll just leave it at that. Now I want to thank the great JT Kirk for the super chat. Good to see you, buddy. You were too kind. He says, today I remember my grandfather Chester, WW2, World War II, and my uncle that I never knew, Korea, and the brothers that died when I served. Well, I'm glad. Thank you for your service, buddy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you so much, man. And thanks to them. Big shout out and thanks to them, and let's remember them as well. Okay. Do some show notes and shout outs, and then we'll just hang out and just and enjoy that freedom that they gave us by just having a little fun, just talking. It's open geek talk tonight, just as long as it's comic book wise. Open geek comics talk, I should say. So we'll do that first. Let's see. Show notes. I want to thank the great J-Man and having both Sean and J-Man and myself as we have always been, having a fantastic, or a Legion time anyway, a great time talking Legion superheroes. We're really into that era now. That's the sweet spot for me. We're getting into my favorite era of Legion, and we're having a lot of fun. This was like our 43rd or 45th, 44th show, something like that. And we got a long way to go, and it's worth every second of it. So it's great fun, and we had a lot of fun tonight. So hanging out on J-Man's channel, and I guess it's very niche, but any Legion superheroes fan should join us. We have a lot of fun doing that. That's of course here. Let's see. On Tuesdays and Thursday nights, can be found over there on the great Midnight's Edge After Dark, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. My good buddy Tom Connor's channel, sitting with that great gang and commenting on pop culture news and things going on. And then on Wednesday nights, before I do my show, I'm on with the great Stone Loki, the Comic Book Roundtable at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. My good buddy Loki's channel. We have a great panel there talking just about an hour or so, a little shorter show. We just talk some whatever's going on with comics. Sometimes we have topics. So it's always great fun hanging out with my good buddies over there. And then, of course, Wednesday night, all 4 of my shows that I do throughout the week are 9 p.m. Central. So same Clobby time, same Clobby channel. Wildcard Wednesday night. It'll be just probably an open show as well, where all geekness, anything goes on that one. That's why it's the wild card. And then Thursday nights, same Clubby time, same Clubby channel, back to the clubhouse with our wonderful First Officer Commander R.M. Briggs and our great Chief Engineer, the extraordinary Mark D with a C. And we'll have a Blake 7 episode review and a Kolchak episode review and a Star Trek comic review, probably. We could try to fit it in there. And then, of course, Friday. Fantastic Fridays are here. Again, still here. We've been having a great time, both J-Man and Sean and myself, on J-Man's channel, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, doing our reviews of the great, legendary Jack King Kirby's run on the world's greatest comic magazine, the Fantastic Four. Numbers 1 through 102, and annuals 1 through 6. And it's just pure gold. We do 4 issues a week, of course, and just are loving it. And you will too. Let's see, what else? After that, of course, on with the great my great buddy, Nick Weiser, 32 Flavors of course, with the Friday Night Comic Shop Boys, 8:30 Central Standard Time. D. Bud Martin, the great D. Bud Martin, has been joining us. This will be, I believe, his final week for doing 4 more issues, reviewing, that is, the gang reviewing of Amazing Spider-Man. I don't know the exact issues. Whoops. And then, of course, we have a special. Saturday Night Star Trek. Number 1 will not be with us. Our wonderful friend Raquel will be on an away mission. So no Voyager episodes this week, and I know you're just devastated. But don't worry, I'll be here. Maybe Mark D will join me. I don't know, but I've been promising this for a while. Clobby's list. I'm going to rank every episode of Star Trek, the original series, from worst to first. 79 episodes ranked and rated. We're going to count down at the worst and end up at the first. So, yep. A Clobby countdown special. So it'll give us a good chance to get a little Voyager out of our system and talk about some real deal Trek. Yeah, number 1 has to have a life too, there, Tex. What about, she has things to do, and she spends so much time tirelessly helping me with this channel and doing things for this channel. And once in a while, she needs to get out and do things for herself. And we love it when she gets to do stuff. But she does way above and beyond the call all these years doing Saturday Night Star Trek with me. Once in a while, she needs to have a little shore leave. And so I'm glad, she's going to do that. She'll be back, of course. And we'll get Voyager done and get on the Enterprise as fast as we can. But I've been looking forward to, talking some original series. And look, a whole week off from Voyager. Yeah. Who wouldn't want a week off from Voyager, right? So tell the world. Tell them all. Anyway. Oh, away mission. Oh, my God. Yeah, I forgot. Just because. All right, everyone, I'm going to explain this because Tex, you're a maniac. Tex hates the Star Trek The Next Generation more than I hate the filth. And he thinks it's all filth unless it's called everything's filth that's not the original series. So he hates even the term of away mission. Okay, landing party or shore leave. Call it shore leave. I mean, it doesn't. The term away mission, just because it's a show that you don't like used it, it's not that bad. Not a big deal. But, I mean, yeah, I guess it did start on TNG, so I apologize. Please forgive. Shore leave, Admiral. Why, I oughta. Dude, don't make me turn this show around. Shit. Pat S., what's up, bro? Well, I'm going to shout everyone out now. The great bronze wrencher, Eric K. Vindicator wrench of the Great White North. The extraordinary Chris Persia. Hope your pappy's doing well, buddy. Good to see you. Thank you for always being here. D-Bard Martin. The wrench of iron. What's up, buddy? Lord Thoth, God of the wrenches. Avon lives, long live the Legion, sir. J-Man, partner in crime on Earth B, fantastic Legionnaire extraordinaire. Clobberin Time's own Music Meister, Maximum Redstone. Fancy Outsidey, the rascally wrench. Our triple Bullwinkle wrench, Larry. Our latest new wrenches to the edition there, the Gwagnar. And JT Kirk, I am Kirok. And Maddie's daddy, I hope you're doing well, buddy. Doing better. And Kal-El, the super wrench. Now let's see who is in the chat so I can shout you all out. Of course, again, the aforementioned great 1701 Tex, yo, bro. Still good to see you, brother. Me and my monkey. Hello. FKH, Tim. What's up? Joe Dog. Hello there, Penny. Good to see you, my dear. Linrod, hey. Anonymous Gamer. Hello. Claude Selling. Hello, Claude Selling. Good to see you, buddy. DJ Ronnie G. What's up, DJ? Let's see if anybody else has popped in. Stephen Mack. Hey, Stephen. Pat S. Buddy. Hope you're doing well, Bo. And that's everyone so far. So that's everyone. We're caught up now. Anyone who shows, of course, shall be duly shouted out. I want to thank everyone out there lurking. We love our lurkers. We appreciate you if you're just listening. Or watching and you don't get into the chat, no biggie. We love people chatting, but we love anyone listening or watching, and anybody watching on Twitter, TwitX. Thank you for watching on there, and anyone watching on a download or a rewatch, whatever you want to call it. We appreciate you. Please like and subscribe if you are so inclined. It is always much appreciated. Now, where was I? Well, it's comics night, folks. It's comics night. Monday night Mark C. Comics Night, named after our dear departed, fantastic buddy, the great Mark C., of course. And we miss him very much. Can't believe how long it's been. Lane Morris. Hello there, Lane Morris. Welcome. And tonight, since there's no specific comic book topic, it's just as long as it's a comic book question. If anyone has a question, I'll should endeavor to answer it. I'll try to answer it if I can, and we'll make it work. Or if you just have something to say about comics you want me to comment on, if it's something I know about, I will definitely take a stab at it. Because we have fun with comics around here. Like I say, really enjoyed reviewing those Legion issues tonight. Always enjoying it's just so much fun reviewing the Fantastic Four on G-Man's channel. I'm going to just start doing some more reviews on Monday night, I think. Like at least a review, then a review of a comic, and then there's a good one there. And then some open talk. Joe Dog says, what's your favorite issue of New Teen Titans? Teen Titans? I'm going to presume you might mean New Teen Titans because I know you said you just bought New Teen Titans 27. I'll just go Titans in general. But New Teen Titans, it's been a while since I've read those, Joe, but I think my favorite issue was number 4 when they fought the Justice League. The Justice League were under control. Great Perez art, great Perez cover. Issue 4 of the very first series, or the first, I should say, from 1980, the New Teen Titans series by Wolfman and Perez. That might be my favorite issue. I also loved, I think, issue 13 when they brought back the Doom Patrol. That was really good. There's so many. I mean, so many good ones. Some of the ones with Deathstroke when he first popped up, and Trigun. I plan to do a deep dive on that and go back. I know my buddy Nick did that recently, in fact. So I plan to do that again soon. So just to throw a few of them out there, Joe, and I know Joe Dog, you're reading those again. I know you mentioned you just bought number 27, which is cool. Great series. I mean, I remember when that came out, man. All the rage was, the Claremont Cockrum and Claremont Byrne X-Men. The Claremont Byrne X-Men and Frank Miller's Daredevil was all anybody was talking about. And then Wolfman and Perez's New Teen Titans hit and gave those a run for their money. And people were really getting into them. And it was really taking hold. And rightly so. It was, wow, have you seen this? Because for those who didn't remember, Teen Titans, of course, ran from the 60s into the 70s, kind of petered out for a while, and then it came back. It was brought back again in the 70s. and just didn't really, didn't sell that much, just did not do that well. So here you have New Teen Titans, which initially debuted in the back as an insert in DC Comics Prince number 26, which started going for a pretty penny for a while. And then it started catching people's eye because, people like Wolfman and people like Marv Wolfman's work on Tomb of Dracula and some other things. And of course, people were liking George Perez was getting very popular. He worked on Avengers for a good long time. He'd worked on some Justice League work. And the two of those teaming up on for a new Teen Titans series, everyone was kind of like, Teen Titans, really? And hey, they made believers out of a lot of people that were skeptical going in that first issue. With that great art by George Perez, truly started turning heads. It really did. And all of us were like, man, I can't believe it. There's a good Teen Titans comic out there, because the last series, quite frankly, I bought it for a while. It was never really that, that memorable. The series before that. Yep, Starfire became a popular character. Exactly right. Raven, Cyborg, the new characters for that. And then bringing back, Robin, and of course, bringing back the old Titans group. So it lasted for a very long time, and it held its own. It was a worthy opponent in terms of rack space for the X-Men of that time. Matthew Pounder, what's up, buddy? So it was an interesting time because we're like, man, we came out of nowhere. No one expected a book about the Teen Titans to be that good. I didn't. Like I said, because I was buying Teen Titans until it got canceled again, when it was in the 70s. So yeah. Gwag says, Clobberin Times, did you take a look at the 1982 DC Styles Guidebook that they have up on pre-order? I did. So it's tempting to buy, but it's a little pricey. Yes, I really would love to have that. It's beautiful. I have some friends that I know are probably going to spring for it. I can't really afford something like that, Gwag, but I'll tell you what, man. It is. I can't blame anyone for just pulling the trigger on that one. It's beautiful. And I'd love to have that. So yeah, it's looks really good. Looks really good. So yeah, I would love to have that. But JT Kirk said, is there a Vietnam or later war comic with the Supes, Batman, etc. that is a great read? A Vietnam or later war comic with the Supes and Batman, etc. that is great to read. A war comic. Nothing leaps to mind, JT. Obviously, in WW2 they had there were Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman had war strips. They've even compiled those into into books. But as far as Vietnam, DC stayed out of that. In Korea, I think DC stayed out of that too. Vietnam or later war comic with Superman. No. As far as I know, a comic that takes place during wartime. Other than World War II, comics kind of stayed out of that stuff. It doesn't, for the most part, not entirely, doesn't need to be Captain America at the front. Yeah, Marvel did it a little bit. Marvel, once in a while, for example, Iron Man's origin. Marvel kind of did that a little bit. DC, not so much that I can recall anyway. What's up, Max? I'm here to have brought Sutek's gift of death. I'm not trying to be rude, but the bakery was closed. Otherwise, I would have brought a chocolate a babka. I don't know what a babka is. What is a? I understand the chocolate aspect of what you're saying, however. So yeah, JT, it's an interesting question. I just don't think they DC didn't really get involved with that sort of thing at that point. But like Wag says, it was kind of a Marvel deal. Then later in these 80s, Marvel did the comic called the Nom that Michael Golden worked on, and yeah, the Punisher was in the war. I remember there was a Daredevil issue in the early 70s where the Daredevil went overseas to Vietnam for when that was in an issue. I can't look things up when I'm on the air like Bob goes or whatever back, so I have to take your word for it at the moment. But yeah. Oh dear, oh dear. Sure, yes, sir, buddy. Yes. All right. I can't get enough. Look, we got to show it again. You are Kirok. You are Kirok. Joe Dog says, I'm planning to read the first Secret Wars from the 80s. Secret Wars 2015 sucked. The cake is a lie, says Tex. Joe Dog, let's see. I was not a big fan of the one of the 80s, but I was a little bit older for it. It was kind of just made to sell toys, and I personally don't like Mike Zeck's art. Some people do. And I'd never touched the 2015 one, of course, it goes without saying. So I didn't know. But a lot of people have very fond memories of Secret Wars. It's been my experience that the ones who do were very young kids when they first got it, when they saw it. And it was sell in the Secret Wars toys. I remember getting the Secret Wars toy line. That's what it was there for. When that comic came out, I was a young adult, and I was just that didn't appeal to me. And I was very persnickety about the art. So, yeah. Soups and Bats would team up with Sergeant Rock, Unknown Soldier. DC Comics presents Brave and the Bold. True. Usually when Batman teamed, except for like one or two film, usually when Batman would team up with Rock, he'd be like doing stuff in regular time or in present day. Not always. Ow. Owie, owie, owie. Yep. And DC Comics presents. I don't know if you were here, Matthew, a couple of years back when I did a like 5-week special on all the big team up books, including, of course, obviously World's Finest, Brave and the Bold, Marvel Team Up, Marvel 2-in-1, DC Comics Presents. I had so much fun doing that. I want to do it again. J-Man joined me for the DC Comics Presents one because he has almost every issue of that now. Linrod says, I haven't read any Secret Wars. Is it supposed to be good? The old one? Personally, again, Linrod, I was very hyped. I was running the comics up at the time, of course. There was not when I owned it, but one that I owned was when I was running for someone else. At the time, personally, I turned my nose up at it because I thought it was a very kind of an immature comic. I thought it was crappy art and it was made just to sell toys. I think it's a really lousy story. I don't like it at all. But you'll hear a lot of people who have, and again, you can't blame anybody. Comics are part of people's lives that, they grew up remembering certain comics because that affected them. When you bought them as a kid, it just had a different feel. So Secret War, a lot of people who were a lot younger than me when it came out loved it because it tied in with the toys. And, it was made to sell toys. That's why the comic was made. That's a very juvenile story and plot, as far as I'm concerned. And by the way, Kirby's Superpowers comics, they were just made to sell the toys as well. And they're pretty simplistic. Nothing wrong with it. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a good comic. Anytime you make a comic for any reason other than, yes, and I know it's a business and they make them to sell them, but when the writers and artists are said, just go out there, we want to make a good story, let's see if we can get people to buy the comic, it's one thing. When they're said, go do whatever the hell you want, as long as you can make it look generic and flat, and kids will want to buy toys. That's all they cared about. Yeah, Gwag, that's true. DC's Final Front, DC's The New Frontier, that was by the late, great Darwin Cook, had a little bit of Korean War. Hal Jordan was a pilot during the war. The problem with that, and again, I love Cook. Oh, yeah, Tex, Kirby. Yeah, Superpowers was Kirby, so at least you got that going for it, yeah. But it was still to sell toys. And but it was very nice of them to give him that gig, and it would help him. So, New Frontier by Darwin Cook. Is so stupid because, I mean, it's a great comic other than the Hal Jordan stuff was so dumb. Hal Jordan was a fighter, quote unquote, fighter pilot who was a peace pansy who wouldn't fire on the enemy. Exactly, Tex. And that's why I hate it. I mean, I like everything else in the comic and the movie, but it was just so stupid. I can't. I mean, look, and rest his soul, Darwin Cook was a good artist, but I don't understand how they could put that in a comic book and then put it in the movie too. Exists for toys, kind of interesting. Wasn't Micronauts wasn't. Yeah, and by the way, there's nothing wrong with that, but the difference is, Micronauts was an existing property who hired Marvel to do a comic book. Marvel made their own comic book so they could produce a toy line. And so did DC. Or in conjunction with Kenner. Yeah. So yeah, look, I don't mind toy comics. I mean, look, I love ROM. Your Muslim uncle, what's up, dude? Member for 19 months. Thanks for being a member, buddy. He says, hail, clobbering times and clobberers. Good to see you, brother. Yeah, he was a peace pansy. It was disgusting. It was stupid. But what's even dumber was first of all, it's one thing if you, again, and I'm not pretending to know anything about being in the military. I was not. My dad was in the Air Force, but I wasn't. So but certain things do make sense. And anybody, you don't have to be, you don't have to know how to build a car to drive one, in other words. So I don't have to be in the military to know that, or to surmise that if, for example, if I were, and I said, well, I'll fly this plane, but I'm not going to shoot at the enemy in combat, they're probably not going to let you fly the plane then. Again, call me crazy, because it's true. I don't know much about the military, but my now today's military, I don't know what they will do. But back then in the 1950s, if you were a combat pilot, quote unquote, and you refused to fight, they're going to say, well, they're probably not going to let you go into battle. But they let Hal go fly in the fight missions. And there's a scene, in the book and in the movie where Rick Flag says, maybe you'll use your guns for a change. He says, I don't need it. So he won't use his guns in the plane, but he will. He tried to fly his plane to make the bad guy, the enemy, crash. And they both crash, and he ended up having to kill the guy with a pistol. So if you're making a dude crash, you're pretty much killing him anyway, aren't you? So these people, ugh. It's mind-boggling. There can be people that stupid. Mind-boggling. So it's so weird. He's either a peacenik or he's not. And the peacenik's not going to be allowed to fight in combat. As far as I know. In 1950s in a war? Maybe I don't know anything. I guess. Always bothered the hell out of me. And I still love that. Hey, I love the animated New Frontier was incredible. Indeed, Jerusalem Uncle. The animated was beautiful to watch if you just ignore that stupid shit that they do to Hal Jordan, which sucks. It's pretty damn good. Tough to ignore though. What else is going out there? Let's see. Joe Dog says, Jay Chicker says, if you don't fire at the enemy and on air, land, or sea, you're going to be deleted pretty quickly. There's not much other talk than that. Yep. No pacifists flying and plane, and they can wax planes on the ground and change the tires, but that's it. Exactly. Joe Doug says one of the best things about Teen Titans was my boy Kid Flash. I'm a Wally West guy. I was sad when he left. Well, I like him as Kid Flash, but I always like Barry better. But Kid Flash was really good in that book, in that new Teen Titans comic. Yeah, I like Wally. Yeah, but I'm a Barry. When it comes to, he'll always be Kid Flash to me. Just me. Just me. Well, let's see. Barry Sanders and JT. Well, yeah, Barry Sanders was great, JT. He was great now. But I'm a Barry Allen guy when it comes to the Flash. Who was even faster than Barry Sanders. Although Barry Sanders was fast. Let's see. Well, something. Oh, I know what I wanted to see. I know what I wanted to. Something I wanted to mention. There we go. I had something to mention here. Okay. Yesterday was the birthday of one of my favorite all-time artists. So we'll look at a few covers of his, the great Herb Trimpe. Who's not a Herb fan around here? Who's a Herb fan around here? All right. Herb. The late great Herb Trimpe. So here's some, it says the late Herb Trimpe, born 85 years ago yesterday, on May 26, 1989, was best known as the prolific artist on The Incredible Hulk in the Silver and Bronze Ages. But he also drew virtually every other Marvel character at some point over the years. He co-created Wolverine, Natch, and was also tapped for different genres. Sorry. It's been a number of years since our last 13 covers birthday salute to Trimpe, and we've always highlighted the Hulk. This time, we're spreading the wealth to show off some of Herb's other work. So here we go. Kid Colt Outlaw by Herb Trimpe cover. There you go. Because I am partial to his Hulk work as well. Joe Duck says, "Oh yeah, he did one of my favorite teams, the Defenders, and my superhero Wolverine." Yeah, agreed, Matthew. The industry should have treated Mr. Trimpy better. I love Trimpy. It's great. This is one of my favorite covers of his right here. The Marvel Superheroes presents Phantom Eagle. Badass cover right there. Western Gunfighters featuring Gunhawk, the original Ghost Rider, and the Apache Kid. Great stuff. Let's see. Marvel Spotlight on Ghost Rider. Cool stuff. Mighty Marvel Western. Reprint book, of course, but hey, it's all right. I mean, yeah, I think might be a reprint book, yeah. Rawhide Kid. Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Trippy, again, another one of my favorite off-the-wall non-Hulk Trippy covers. Your Muslim uncle says, that was one of the best parts of the 4-part Transformer OG series they released in the theaters last weekend. Seeing the surviving cast was great, especially as they age. We still care. Oh, well, excellent. Excelente. Thank you. Let's see. The Outlaw Kid. Nice. I'm partial to his Hulk stuff, but yeah. Top-notch Daredevil cover. Not something you think of, you really associate. Not a character you normally associate with Trippy, a Daredevil, of course, but nice cover. The Astonishing Ant-Man, I remember it well. Inking himself on the cover. Kid Colt Outlaw. He was good. Always liked this cover, too. Canadian Spider-Man. What's up, dude? Canadian Spider-Man does whatever a Canadian spider can. Good to see you there, brother. All right. Mighty Marvel Western, Rod Kid, Kilt, and Two Gun Kid. Yes, sir. Man, that is so Kirby. In fact, this says it's Herb Trippy with Giacoya inks. Man, they said, I mean, he's really aping Kirby with this one. Big time. Great Iron Man cover. Shout out D-Bud. Ravenscroft, good to see you, my friend. How are you doing? Well? I hope all goes well for you, sir. Let's see. So there's that. Okay, since it is the Memorial Day, of course. Let's see. World War II in 13 magnificent covers, a Memorial Day tribute. Let's see here. Memorial Day is a day in which we honor those who have fallen. We don't need to hear what these guys say. We'll just look at the pictures. War Stories Combat by George Wilson. Man, that guy got around. Matthew Pounder, yes. Oh, you love Herb Trimpe's Machine Man Mini with those Barry Windsor Smith inks. Yeah. War Stories Combat. So Sam Glamsman cover. Wow. No name on this one. That's pretty cool. Oh, I hear you, Lynn Ronda. Yeah. Wow. Gene Colan. So there you go. Some cool. Very cool covers. Old combat issues. More Sam Glanzman. Sam Glanzman again. There you go. Picasso, what's up? Welcome, sir. Good to see you. Oh, it's weird. It doesn't show. It didn't show on the right side there. Strange, sir. But thank you, JT Kirk. Gifted 5 Clobber Times memberships. Oh boy, dude, man, oh, you're too kind, buddy. Thank you. Oh my goodness, I don't know what to say, man. I didn't see it until I looked back up. It doesn't show up on the where it's supposed to anymore. But thank you. It's very kind of you, buddy. Very generous. I really do appreciate it. Big shout out to the great JT Kirk. You're too kind. Adrian James. Hello, Adrian James. Good to see you. I remember this one. Let's see. See if they have anything else to look up. Fantastic Four comic book guy variant cover. Honor Kirby, Perez, Buscema, and more. Nah. Bunch of Pat. Trying to find that. I was looking for something I wanted to look at that was from earlier. That's just not the thing, not where that was. Oh well. All right, Tex. Thanks, bro. Be good, buddy. Always good to see you, bub. Appreciate you being here, bro. Be seeing you. Be seeing you. I hope I'll be seeing you soon. I sure hope so, brother. Yeah, it wouldn't be easy to do that when that ribbon's crossed. Good night, Penny. Take care, my dear. Hope you have a great night. Sleep well. Sleep well. Yup. Uh, huh. What was I looking for? Damn, I can't remember what I was damn looking for now. Uh, hmm. Well, I can't remember. I was looking for the. Can't find anything on this stupid blog. I better. Hey, Fiona. Look at that beautiful picture you got there. You look beautiful tonight. A pleasant and solemn Memorial Day for those that celebrate it. Yeah. Yes, indeed. It's good to see you, my dear. I hope you're doing well. JT Kirk says, when I forgot what I'm looking for, forget what I'm looking for. I always tell myself I was looking for some. Oh, who isn't? I'm sorry, it's terrible. And it makes the fact I forgot a little less worse. You bad boy. Jesus Christ. No, you're right. That's a good thing. That's a good way to do it. That's a good way to do it. Anonymous, you said you lost your baby boy Jack this morning. Anonymous game. I don't mean to pry, but you put it in the chat. I was so I not sure what you're referring to specifically, but whatever that loss was, condolences on that big time. Condolences on that big time. So, yeah. Oh, yes, Joe Dog. I remember that one. I remember that one. Second is number 11 with Wonder Girl was with Hyperion in Paradise Island. Yeah, well, the art's beautiful on those. George Perez, inked by Romeo Tangal. Some of the best Perez art ever done at that point. Great stuff. Wag says, Clobberin Times, not sure how much of a fan you are regarding the Vertigo Sandman books, but the latest back issue, I think you mean back issue magazine, yeah, might not be your thing as it is mostly about those books. Yeah, and I'm not much of a fan of those. I respect people who are. Thing is, Gwag, I have every single issue of Back Issue magazine, and I'm not too much of a purist collector about much, but I want to have every issue of it, so I'll get it anyway. But I know it's pretty much that, right? And but I hear you. Yeah, I can't wait till they get to the next issues and get beyond that one. But and again, it's not really Bronze Age either. But they want to look, as if doing that issue, Gwag helps them perpetuate the book, and it does, keeps them doing the most of the time doing the stuff staying with the Bronze Age, that's okay with me. But I'll buy it anyway. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness. I hear you there. Fiona lost 2 great grandfathers and an uncle. Oh, do a quiet thing for them on Memorial Day. Well, yes, that's great. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, McKean was a good artist. Absolutely. I remember him well. And yeah, just personally wasn't really big on the Vertigo stuff myself, or and Sandman and or any of that stuff really. But I'm nothing against it. It just wasn't really my bag. I mean, I'm a simpleton. I like superheroes and science fiction type stuff and different other titles and things like that. Yeah. Although at that time I was dumping I was looking for a lot of different experimental stuff and I was dropping a lot of superhero titles as far as I was selling a lot of them, but I mean, I was, as a personal thing, as a reader, not as much. Is that Fiona, is that playlist you talking in regards to movies or music? Back says the only Bronze Age articles are on Casper's Horse Nightmare and the Marvel Nightmare character. I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Let them get that issue out of their system, I guess. But yeah, music, no problem. I got you. I was just making sure. Yeah, let them get that issue out of their system, I suppose, Um, they have to, I understand. Not every issue can be exactly what I want. Well, I got you, Fiona. So you're big on music too, obviously. Yeah, I got to admit, I'm not an expert on music or movies myself, so I'm not an expert on anything. But yeah, I got to admit, I love music. I just don't know. I'm not like I don't have I have so many friends of mine that are encyclopedic in knowledge about movies. Apparently, you are as well, and a lot of the people here are as well. Gwag, did you get that? The comic book, the DC Implosion Expanded Edition, man, I can't believe they did this. Damn it, man, oh man. I want that. Oh my goodness. Sandman. Yeah, I'm not thrilled with that. I gotta buy it though. I don't gotta do anything. Like the saying goes, you don't gotta do nothing but die and pay taxes, boy. But you know what I mean. But you picked it up as well. Um, okay, I got you. Gwag, do you get every issue also, or do you pick and choose? I pick and choose with the other Macs. No, I get every issue of the Jack Kirby collector. But other than that, Fiona says, "Oh, Clobby, one of the songs was from TNG. Miles O'Brien sang it at the end of The Wounded. I remember that. Chose the Strummer version of it. I do remember him singing a song with the captain, that captain of his. I do remember. Get every back issue and retro fan, but pick and choose the other mags. That's I got you. Yeah, I get every issue of back issue. I get every issue of the Jack Kirby Collector. I've been buying the Jack Kirby Collector since it first came out in the mid 90s. I still have all of their first few issues were black and white pamphlet type things that were very cheaply put together. I got those and all of everyone ever since then. Keely Chow, roll tide. What's up, Keely, buddy? Matthew Pounder says they're difficult to get in the UK. Yeah, you'd have to order them. I get the comic shops even carry Tomorrow's comics and books, Matthew, at all over there? Because Gwag has to get his at the comic shop. I order mine from the website and have for a long time. But they actually, some Barnes and Noble carry some of their mags here. They carry back issue. They carry Alter Ego sometimes, I think. None of their books, but they do get some of the mags. But they got great books, I mean, Tomorrow's books, they got so many great ones. It's funny how the only new stuff I look forward to are not comics. They're books. They're magazines and comics about comic book history. Wag says, I have every issue of back issue. Every issue back issue except for number 4, which was the first Wolverine issue, which sold out extremely fast. Yeah. When I remember when number 1 came out, it's got Captain America and Batman on the cover. I went nuts for that. I got it. And for a while there was only one I was missing, and I went and ended up finding that one and getting it. So I got lucky to have every issue. Keely Sal says, I owned a comic shop. Did I? I forget that sometimes, but I did. Yeah. Yeah. And he said it again. Clobby owned a comic shop. True. Actually, Minimus is here. Minimus, a couple of months ago, I was at a Barnes and Noble in Covington, and they had some Tomorrow's mags. I was there with the gang. I was surprised because I hadn't seen it anywhere else. But yes, they do. Some of them still do. I know in our neck of the woods they don't, but some of them still carry it. At least, how often? I don't know. But they had, I think, back issue and or Alter Ego, one of the two or both. And they had Retro Fan too. The dot ba 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 ba. But eat beep. Yeah, I mean, we were there on a Saturday. I was there with the gang, and one of them showed it to me, and I was shocked. So sometimes back issue magazine is really cool. This is the second most. This is issue number 150, which came out recently. Did you get the tabloid edition of back issue 61? I did indeed, Gwag. I did indeed. And I bought all the tabloid editions of Jack Kirby Collector. Remember when Jack Kirby Collector was tabloid size? Clobber times. If you had carte blanche to change Superman 2 to your taste, could you elaborate what changes you would make? Yes. Yes, I can. I would definitely keep the whole basic plot of the three villains. I think that was solid. We'll tell you, that might require some thought. I need to get you to come on here and we can talk about that again. What would I change? I would get rid of I think I would get Aiden around an axe Amanda Bear. I think I would get rid of I was about to say I would get rid of the Lois, the Clark Lois, her messing around trying to, expose a secret identity. I would get rid of some of the stupid campy crap. I would totally redo the scene on the moon. Oh man, there's so much. I have to think that is the best. I'm going to save that for a show one because didn't we already talk about Superman 2 once? We talked about the director's cut. I want to do a show with you where we talk about what we would do to fix it. I know you don't. Maybe you don't think it needs to be fixed, but wow, that's a good question, Max. Now you got me really, really into that question. Actually, love Sarah Douglas. Good question though. But see, Back Issue Magazine's great, and Matthew Pounder. I know what you say about digital. I hear you, but I'm sorry, digital is useful to me and to some of us because I got a friend of mine that has very bad eyesight, who can't really look at a comic book and see it that way. He's got a big collection. He doesn't stop buying physical, but digital is very important to him because of some stuff he has to read on an iPad, on a pad thingy. Plus, it helps me review comics easier, and it allows me to do something like this to show it like this. But look, I believe you should buy the physicals always, and I do. I don't. When I buy Back Issue, you get the digital for free if you buy it from Tomorrow's. They have a wide selection. You get the digital for free. So this was a great issue though. Glad this was fun, man. Batman of the 70s. I know we don't talk about this, but where the hell was Miss Teschmacher after they left the Fortress of Solitude? I don't know. I guess Lex just took her somewhere and dumped her. I don't know. Now that Amanda Bear says, how many official Batman artists are there? Oh my God. I mean, if you mean official, rough estimate, I mean, do you mean like ever who's drawn the Batman comic for DC? I couldn't even begin to speculate. I couldn't even give an estimate of something like that. I can tell you though, back then it was a little bit easier to estimate. Right now, I mean, with 80 years gone by, 80 something years, about 85 years in, it's tough. It can't be thousands. It could be close. It could be a lot. No, not thousands, but I don't know. When you consider how many Batman comics there have been, Less or more than, way more than 100. Way more than 100. Way more. I mean, again, Detective Comics alone, and he started in Detective Comics number 27. 27. Excuse me. And they're over like 1,000. They're numbering on Detective Comics alone is in the thousands. Then you have the Batman title, which is in the 1,000 as well, isn't it? Or close to it. And he's had, if you're talking about just those two titles, maybe. But if you're talking about all the other Batman titles that have been made, and that's just people that were paid for DC to write. Ravenscroft, most underrated Batman artist in your opinion. Oh, well, that's a different story. That's a good question there as well. Ravenscroft, I think my most underrated Batman and World's Finest is another one. Brave and the Bold. Narot, I don't know how it could even be quantified, but I would say somewhere closer to the 500 mark, maybe a little bit lower. Let's see. Matthew Pounder, that's a good one. Don Newton is great. I kind of liked Irv Novick. Underrated would be I like Don Newton a lot. I think, I don't know. I think, Marshall Rogers can't necessarily, it's not underrated, even though he didn't do it very long. He's considered, he did the definitive Batman run. I think underrated would have to be maybe I'm gonna say, can Jim Aparo be considered underrated, considering a lot of people love him? You like the Gene Colan did it for a while. It's true, Claude Blanchard. Did you liked Colan's Batman? I don't know. It was kind of up and down on Colan's Batman, I guess. I don't know. Man, it's tough. Dick Giordano. Aparo's fantastic. It's tough to pick an underrated one. One underrated, I don't know. Dick Giordano is underrated, but he's not underrated by his peers. Could not be reached for further comment. What's up? Walt Simonson did some great Batman. Konami Reed said Batman Volume 1 had 14 official Batman artists, 20 plus to current day. There you go. Yeah, the cover by Gene Day. That was a great cover by Gene Day before he passed away. Gene Day would have been fantastic. Yeah, we're talking about, see, Marshall Rogers, I don't know if I could consider him underrated, Princess, because Gene, I mean, his even though he had a short sprint there with Terry Austin, the Englehart Rogers Austin Batman, plus he did some other ones. He's done enough. And it's his Batman, that first run on Detective gets frequently referred to as the definitive Batman. So I don't think he's underrated. I think he's one of the best. He's one of my favorites. I'll tell you that. I love him. So I wouldn't call him underrated, but I would say, it's just like I'm struggling to call Jim Aparo underrated because Aparo is adored by his peers. Matt Wagner is pretty good, I guess. I don't know. Matt Wagner, yeah, he's a good Batman artist. I'm trying to let's see. Oh, Dick Giordano. I love Don Newton. Um 64. Oh man. It's tough to pick a favorite, man. Or it's tough to pick one that's just. There have been so many great. There's a like Minimus was mentioning Gene Colan. He had an interesting run on Batman. I never liked Jim Lee either. Oh, I got you, Princess. Okay, your favorites. Well, in that case, I'll tell you this: Marshall Rogers is right at there at the top of my favorites. I'll tell you, Carmen Infantino's a little underrated on it because I thought he did a great job when he did it. That's true. Could not be reached. Shelley Moldoff. That's one. He doesn't get represented as much. Even snooty college art professors who turn their noses up at comics give Bernie Wrightson respect, says Fiona. They do. And with good reason, Bernie Wrightson was fantastic. Also a really nice guy. There's some Bernie Wrightson right there. I mean, Adams right there. Bernie Wrightson right there. Bernie Wrightson didn't do a lot of Batman, but could not be reached. I agree with you. Shelley Moldoff was underrated. Agreed. The illustrated Frankenstein book he did was extraordinary. I have the regular trade paperback of that. Our late great buddy Mark C, our long lost buddy, he had a gigantic, amazing hardcover of that. It was beautiful. Garcia Lopez, of course, Guagnar. Oh my God, man. Dick Giordano, Walt Simonson, Don Newton. Someone mentioned Don Newton earlier. I mean, the initial question was underrated, but you don't have to. We don't have to stick there. We can do anything. Matthew says early Aparo when he inked himself. Oh, he's so better mess when he inked himself. Jerry Robinson, indeed, Minimusness. He was great. Oh wow, Fiona has the hardcover. He was amazing. Bernie Wrightson was fantastic. I'll even rate Don Newton above modern Batman artists. Oh, yeah. Modern Batman artists suck. I can't stand them. They all draw him with these. Everybody who draws Batman right now, if you look at any modern shite, he's got these ridiculous, over complicated costumes that are all ridgy and armory, and they draw him to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's built too big. Look at this. Look at the elegance. Look at this Wrights and Batman face. That's all Batman needs right there. Look at that Wrightson figure right there. Nobody today, and I mean nobody today, makes Batman look like that. It has such a beautiful atmospheric quality to that. None of these punks today can do what Wrightson did. Was the traditional setup and pencil inker colors done for workflow expediency or different? Workflow expediency was always the name of the game. Always. One guy just couldn't do all that stuff because the toughest thing was the pencils, getting the thing laid out and all the backgrounds and all that stuff done. Charles Vest I think he did do some covers. Yeah. So it's pretty much that's why it happened. Everything was done for expediency. Nobody was as fast as Jack Kirby. And even you didn't have time to do everything. Son Lee. Buying the Cult. I remember buying the Cult cost me a whole $350. I sold the Cult at my shop. I had to take it off the stands and sell it to adults. Batman the Cult was not for kids. And I had a couple of young guys wanting to come in there and buy that. And I had to make sure I made them get their parents' permission. And I told the parents what it was about too. Batman the Cult. I did not like Batman the Cult at all. I think it was horrible. Wrightson had the very best trios. Oh, I really love Simonson's. Yeah, I love Simonson's also. Yep, $16,000. Jim Starlin did a lot of Batman. God, how'd you like to have that original art? Hey, John Platt, good to see you. Welcome to Monday Night Mark C. Comics Talk on Clobberin Times, everybody. Mike Minola, Trevor Von Eden, Alex Toth. Yep, some of them are mentioned here. I mean, Jim Starlin it's funny, Jim Starlin's always noted for his Marvel work, but I love some of his DC stuff. It wasn't a lot, but he did some great stuff. Oh, yeah, we can't leave out the great Steve Scott. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Jim Starlin, beautiful covers. So he was pretty damn good too. You don't think of Jim Starlin as a DC guy, but hey, okay. Max says, okay, Scooby-Doo and the gang have to team up with a hero from either the Marvel or DC universe for a serious case. Who do they team up with and what crime do they solve? Wowzer, you got me on that one. Anybody got some answers on that one? They teamed up with a lot of DC characters. They've never teamed up with Marvel before that I know of. For a while there, obviously they wouldn't, would they? For a while there, a number of years ago, they were doing a Scooby-Doo team-up series with their Scooby-Doo kids line comics. And each month they would team up with different DC superheroes. I bought some of those just because they look like, cool traditional old comics. Because they were making the superheroes look like they're supposed to. Now that's a good one, Guagnar. Long Day to Man, I think, wasn't some of those. The Shadow, good one, Princess. The shadow knows. So, yeah, that would be a good one. It'd be great for him to team up with Scooby. So, they've never teamed up with Marvel. They teamed up with Crypto and the Justice League in that movie they did recently, which was kind of fun. See, a lot of people like Norm Brayfogle. Were you a big Brayfogle guy? I didn't buy much of that Brayfogle run, written by Alan Grant, I think. Scooby-Doo Astro team up. That would have worked. Scooby-Doo meets Heroes for Hire. That's a good one there. Could not be reached. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Skee-Doo you. Because you're a piece. Poo-poo. Oops, sorry. A different song. Roo-roo. Screw you. Ramona Fraden passed away. This was before, they didn't have this ready when she did, though. Alex Toth. Space Ghost. Bum 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 bum. Matthew Pounder liked Brayfogle. A lot of people did like the Brayfogle stuff. It was interesting for sure. Minimus has a original Brayfogle con sketch. Batman. Wowzer. I think you told me that. Yeah. Cool. Alex Toth. Ba, 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 ba. Walt Simonson, baby. Walt Simonson, man, one of the greats. Paul Gulacy was great. Bill Reynolds. I love this mag. Man, again, I know the next issue I'm not going to love so much, but I'm going to buy it anyway. But I love back issue. Ba, 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 ba. Look at that. That's just brilliant right there. And of course, Walt Simonson's Manhunter series. Incredible. Yeah, Squag. Manhunter was great. Wah, 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 wah. Boom, 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 boom. Look at that, boy. That was, anyone ever read that one? The Detective Comics backup, the Manhunter by Walt Simonson, Archie Goodwin doing the writing. Boy, that was a good comic. I've been meaning to go back and reread that again soon. Of course, there's a lot of things I've been meaning to go back and reread soon. Were the Wonder Twins from the comics? No, they were made for the TV show. Getting to the Doom. Oh, wow. Starting to get to the Doom Patrol with My Greatest Adventure 981. Oh, Joe Dog. Cool. Those are fun. Enjoy those. Look at this. I mean, look at these. Nobody can do this stuff today. None of these people making new comics. Maybe they can. It's just something about it. I'm just being an old fogey, but man, today's comics ain't got the same soul. They're all done by a-holes. I don't know. What do I know? I'm not an artist. You guys are. You're all a bunch of artists, not me. So I'll trust you. I mean, tonight on J Man's channel, we've gotten to we're doing our Legion of Superheroes. David Mazzucchelli was great. Yes, you were a great time, Rich. Fiona, they can't. I went into a bookstore last month and almost threw up all over the comic section. Yeah, tonight on our Legion of Superhero review, we're reviewing all of Legion of Superheroes on J-Man's channel. That's from 1958 to 1989, and we started last year. We're now on episode number 44 or whatever. We just now got into that sweet spot where I really love Legion. I mean, we're doing it all in chronological order, and we're taking our time. It's going to be a long, long road getting from there to here. But tonight, man, we started in the salad days. We're just now getting the Superboy and the starring Legion of Superheroes run. I'm not going to bore you with Super Legion stuff. I know you're not a bunch of Legion fans, but I'm just going to say that we got in there and starting with the Dave Cockrum stuff, with Cockrum inking himself. Carrie Bates stories, really good stuff. And then tonight we did the issue, sadly, where Dave Cockrum leaves. His last issue, but his last issue was Cockrum was inked by Mike Grell, who would then take over the next issue. And we did that last issue. Our third issue that we did tonight in our which was the last of tonight, was Mike Grell's first work on Legion of Superboy and Legion of Superboy starring the Legion of Superheroes. And Mike Grell inked himself on this. So we went from top-notch Dave Cockrum inking himself, then a story where Dave Cockrum was inked by Grell, and then the next issue, Grell on Grell. And it's terrific. Mike Grell, inking Mike Grell. But it's funny. One of the funny things about this is the business was just as cutthroat, if not more so, back then. I believe this is when, this, of course, I think Carmen Infantino was still in power as the publisher. There's a little snippet on a page in the middle of the Mike Grell's first issue, where it's part of a page. It was put in there not just to introduce Mike Grell, but to take a shot at Dave Cockrum, who was, of course, who passed away very young, very early, but was a terrific comic book artist. Without, they were basically saying, well, we gave let me see. I got to read it to you because it's really, wow. I've seen this once before, maybe at some point. I probably just forgot about it. But Jesus, good Lord, man, it's incredible. And this was just not necessary. It's subtle, I guess. Here it is. I thought, wow, dudes, really? They ended up to the story. It says, Super Talk. Editor's note. The reason we reduced the usual amounts of pages, blah, blah, we don't need that stuff. Why? To make the most of introducing Mike Grell, and yet his peerless penmanship needs no introduction because it was displayed in issue 2002, Idiot 202, which was the previous issue. Lost a million miles, whatever. Oh, him inking Cockrum, though, right? So we have got news for you. First, the bad news. Dave Cockrum, who was, here it is, folks. Dave Cockrum, who was virtually unknown in the field and gained star artist status only after we gave him the opportunity to do the Legion has departed. I say again, Dave Cockrum, who was virtually unknown in the field and gained star artist status only after we gave him the opportunity to do the Legion, has departed. Wow. Are you serious? Jesus Christ, man. And I love Grell. Yeah, isn't that something, Matthew? Like, wow, dudes. I like that one, Fiona. I had an idea for a kid's book. A story about a young squid who dreams of someday inking comic books. Oh, I probably need sleep. I like it. Yeah. So what happened, of course, was they pissed Cockrum off for some reason, and then he left and went to Marvel. He'd actually sold. He'd been doing some stuff, trying to sell some characters to Marvel and do some things. And this is right around the time he got hired to go work on X-Men. Not too long before it, anyway. Isn't that nice? What a nice way to treat him. Anyway, the good news is we got Mike Grell. I mean, look at this. This is Mike Grell's first work on Legion. Not the cover. The cover's by Nick Carty, but Cockrum had the last laugh. He brought the Legion over to Marvel in the form of the Shi'ar Imperial Guard. True. Murray Boltinoff kept turning his ideas down. True. He let Cary Bates do all the writing. Like Matt said, why not just draw a building with a large billboard saying "So long, asshole"? And he just they wouldn't let him do more. They usually did, unless you were Jack Kirby or Steve Ditko. They didn't let artists. They weren't letting artists do anything that much. It was an efficiency thing, similar to what the question Fiona asked before. But at that point, they wanted to churn product out. So they didn't want you to be your own writer, comic artist. Like Jim Shooter tried that. Then again, Jack could do it and Steve Ditko could do it and some others. For the most part, they wanted you to either be a writer and then you hand over your script to a penciler and a penciler goes to an inker. That means you get more writing done because you do something else after that. The penciler can do penciling. Inkers can do ink, colorers, letterists, and all this, letters. It made them able to put out comics faster, I guess, was part of it anyway. And so they knew Cockrum was as an artist. Although he was going to create Nightcrawler for the Legion, and they wouldn't let him do it. And a few other ones too. I think he might have created Storm for the Legion if he wanted to. Although he ended up, working on that with Claremont. And so Cockrum, again, he did it a lot. He liked to create it. He wanted to create his own comics. He wanted to create and draw his own comics, like a lot of cartoonists naturally want to do. For the longest time, there weren't. Yeah, you had writers in comics, but it wasn't the same. It was usually cartoonists who would create their own stories and draw them out there, and yes, put their own dialogue and all that stuff. The Marvel method changed things, and DC started doing it too. But it was cool to see that, to get to this. I do love. Before we go to Grell, though, it was nice to get to. Dave Cockrum. Yeah. Great stuff. Yeah. And also, I love those 100-page books. Yeah, I got the Legion. I missed Cockrum. He came up with a lot of this stuff. All right, Princess Fiona, thanks for being here, my dear. Happy rest of your Memorial Day to you. Thank you for hanging out with us. I'm so glad to see you. And by the way, Princess, I don't know if you heard the announcement, but there will be no Voyager episodes this week on Saturday Night Star Trek. Because our number one, of course, first officer, Raquel, will be listen, I don't want to get text mad at me. Number one, Raquel will be on a shore leave, taking some furlough there, and instead, I will. It'll be me with Saturday Night Star Trek, and I will be doing my countdown. I'm going to talk about Star Trek: The Original Series. I'm going to do a countdown I'm going to rank the episodes by quality, worst to first. What about Barry Windsor-Smith? Didn't he write, draw, and ink, color his Wolverine Weapon X comic? Yeah, he did. That was in the late 80s, though. Plus, it was a different time, and the only big-name superstars could do that kind of stuff at that point. Number one is finally broken down and is being confined to Starfleet Medical for severe exposure to shitty Star Trek. This Max. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So there you go. Anyway. There you go. Oh. Anyone else any other questions or things to say about comics? Eyes back on the chat. So yes. He had a Stormlight character for the Legion called Typhoon. Oliver Belamonte. Good night, Princess. Oliver says actor Nicholas Hoult has shown his Instagram photo of his shaved bald head as he'll play Lex Luthor in James Gunn's Superman film. Okay, yeah, he is. Well, there you have that. Yeah, John Platt, though, like you're saying, when you got to do your own writing, penciling and inking and all that stuff and coloring, whatever have you, you were big stuff. And then when they started letting that happen in the 80s, they let Byrne do it, obviously. Miller could do whatever he wanted. If you were, Barry Windsor-Smith obviously had all that respect. Starlin, people like that. You got to be the superstar. All right, Max, be good, buddy. Have a good night. Yeah. So, my favorite Doom Patrol member, without hesitation, is Robot Man. I love him. Cliff Steele. He's such a tragic character. JT Kirk says, who would you trust? Who would you trust? Who would you trust to an Enterprise comic series? What episode do we get to see T'Pel naked in the decom chamber, and why? What episode do we get to see her? In the comic, or you mean from really? Exactly, Ravenscroft. Cliff shared a lot of qualities with Ben Grimm, and I gravitate towards characters like that. Ben Grimm, Drake Burroughs, Cliff Steele. So, to do an Enterprise comic, you'll be shocked here probably, because I don't know if he even likes it. Good night, D. Bud Martin. Good night, buddy. But John Byrne used to be able to write some pretty good Trek comics. He's written some good Star Trek comics. I have my problems with the Byrne boy, as you all know. But he has done some good Trek comics. So I'd say Byrne. As for T'Pol being naked or whatever, I don't know if that'll happen in the comic. I know it was nice in the decom chamber when she looked good. But again, those were real Trek comics. I don't know if he even likes Enterprise, but if he does, he could probably do a good one. He just needs to stay away from my damn superheroes because he doesn't know how to do them for shit. Well, I take it back. He does know how to do them for shit. Are you naked, Paul? What about you, Joe Dog? Who's your favorite Doom Patroller? The Doom Patrol. We are the Doom Patrol. Joe Dog, did you ever see in my opinion, one of the greatest cartoons ever made, Batman Brave and the Bold? If you have, I'm sure you've seen the Doom Patrol episode of that. Oh my goodness. We are the Doom Patrol. I love it. Ravenscroft says, lots of fun as always, Clobberin, but I got to hit the hay. Take care. See you Wednesday. Okay. I'll see you there, buddy. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. The great Ravenscroft. Good to see you, buddy. Let's see. My favorite is Elastigirl. Yeah, well, she's lovely. Love her. I haven't seen it. I'll tell you what, Joe Dog, there are some things in this world that just can bring me absolute joy automatically. They're my happy place as a geek. I guess I'm a simple fool when it comes to this sort of thing. One of them is, of course, Batman the Brave and the Bold. Batman Brave and the Bold, 65 episodes of sheer joy. And one of the top episodes for me was the Doom Patrol episode, which actually is very sad. It's, Doom Patrol's tragic, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Absolutely, man. God, that cartoon's so good. Makes me want to cry. But anyway, I could not be reached for further comment. I'm the same way. I love Batman the Animated Series. And I always say that is truer to the spirit of what Batman was intended to be in his origins and his deepest origins. It is the best, in my opinion, representation and interpretation of Batman's core with the best stories done. Really better than most stuff that's been done in comics, if not almost all stuff that's been done in comics. I think it was that good, or it was right up there. And it's the right way. It's the true faithful work of the character in terms of things adapted into another medium. That said, it's the best. I think it's the best. But the one I love the most and the one that makes me happier is Batman Brave and the Bold. Matthew says, I wish I'd gotten old Doombo, was it Doom Patrol omnibuses before they sold out. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's probably expensive now. Probably expensive now, Matthew. God. Great stuff. My greatest adventure. James Gunn has assembled his writers for the Green Lantern TV series. Chris Mundy, Tom King, there's a deal killer right there. Ugh. And Lost TV, Damon Lindelof. Tom King was bad enough. What? Have written and submitted to Gunn its pilot script. Okay. Hey, man, if you needed something killed, you could have stopped at Tom King. That was enough, man. And now you have, I don't know who's worse. Lindelof's probably worse. Holy shit. That's the dumbass piece of crap who did the horrible, horrible Watchmen show. Damon Lindelof on a Green Lantern show? Oh my God. Tom King? That'll be like a contest, like a running gun battle to see who's worse. But maybe they'll cancel each other out. No. Well, you ain't kidding. DOA. Yeah, it's Lindelof is a curse upon pop culture. I mean, he's got that in common with a lot of guys, but a lot of people, but wowzer. Man, oh man. Agreed, Joe Dog. He says, My Adventures of Superman is garbage. I cannot believe this show. They got a second season of My Adventures with Superpunk. I watched the first 2 episodes. I was trying to give it at least give it a look, to be fair, chance, if you will. It's unwatchable bad. It's absolutely horrifically bad. It's so stupid. It's there's no Superman to be found anywhere near it. It is absolute garbaggio. And they're making another season of that garbage. Oh boy. Yay. He said, Lemon said enough people were hate watching it. Great. Wow. What did you think of Burns' Doom Patrol Ducks for Cover? No reason to duck for cover there, Matthew Pounder. At that point in my comic book reading habits, if John Byrne were doing it, I wasn't touching it, especially with his characters I liked. And I didn't think he could draw anymore. I was already done with his shitty writing that he was been doing. So I did not even touch it, buddy. I did not even bother. So I can't give you much of an opinion on it. The art, his art wasn't really that good anymore by that point. So what did you think of it? If you must have read it, because I mean, at that point, Byrne, look, I've always said Byrne gets bored, man. Byrne gets bored. I think he was, I don't know what he was doing with, he and Claremont were clashing, but I think he was bored with X-Men. The two of them worked very well together. They covered each other's flaws, I suppose. But he wanted to take a shot at Fantastic Four. He'd been on Fantastic Four as the penciler for a while before he was making it big on X-Men. And X-Men plummeted him to superstardom and plummeted him. Sorry. He ascended to superstardom with the X-Men. And so he became what they call in the industry back then a fan favorite. He was a superstar. So they let him have the Fantastic Four, which he wanted. He did it a long time. I liked his first couple of years. Then he started you can tell when Byrne gets bored. See, he went and he was getting the triple threat. Because he was big enough. He's a writer, he was penciler, he was inker, which he never should be allowed to ink his own crap. Still, for the first couple of years, it was okay. I mean, it was still kind of funny. Like he was obsessed with Johnny Storm just because Ben calls him Matchstick as a joke. He drew Johnny Storm like a matchstick, and then everybody was too skinny. His inks got worse and worse over time. His pencils got lazy, but first couple of years I kind of liked the book. Then you could tell he started getting bored. He started doing some kind of questionable stories with it, some not so good stuff, messing with the costumes, messing with this, messing with that. Finally, I just had to drop the book. I couldn't take it anymore. It was boring. It was stupid. I didn't give a shit. And I never thought it was possible for me to drop an FF book at that point. I never thought I would drop the FF. He actually accomplished something I never thought possible. John Byrne made me drop FF. So, I would not be going back for a long time after that. So, at that point, he goes to DC because they say, hey, come over here and you can just do whatever you want to Superman. And he did whatever he wanted to Superman, which a lot of people, for some reason, like. I hate it, but that's another story. Got his hands on Superman, did that for a while. And after a few years into that, whatever, he was bored. Started doing other DC stuff here and there, like a miniseries here, a couple issues of something there. I mean, then into the 90s, he went back and did a couple of Marvel things while he was there. He went freelance again. I mean, he was doing stuff like, I think he got really into She-Hulk, and that's why he didn't give a shit about Superman. So that was something. Nobody loves She-Hulk more than John Byrne. And that was something you could tell he got into. I didn't like it. I didn't care about it, but a lot of people liked it. Fine. He was back doing something he wanted to do. And yet still, he would do all this other stuff too. After he got bored with that, he went and messed around with Wonder Woman for a while. And Doom Patrol, I don't even know how long he did that. Then he did a stupid Spider-Man year one type thing didn't last long. That everyone just forgot about. He did War of the Gods. He did Legends. That was earlier, but he did War of the Gods or whatever. Something like that. Maybe that wasn't him. What did he do? He did Legends. He just here and there, and finally he just got out. Oh, then he went back and he did this Generations thing, which I defy you to go read that thing. His art sucks. I bought the big, like an idiot, I bought that omnibus of that because when it was coming out when it first started coming out, I wouldn't touch it because I was pissed off at Byrne. I'd stop buying anything he was doing. The thing was a hack. And his art wasn't even that good anymore. And 2 or 3 years ago, I saw it pretty cheap online on InStock.Trades, InStockTrades.com. So I bought that Generations thing he did. It's an interesting idea. And it compiles everything. He did a couple miniseries and he does a long miniseries. And it treats basically the character as if it's generational, rather than not aging like comic book characters don't age, which was fascinating. It was an interesting idea at first. Then it got weird and got weirder and weirder, and you realize, in a way, he showed us that why comic book characters shouldn't be that realistic and shouldn't age normally. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And if that was his intent, good on him. Matthew liked Generations. I tell you what, at first I thought it was okay, but he did some really stupid, sick shit in there for me. It was an okay read in a sense, but another problem was he should have been drawn and quartered for inking himself. Man, get an inker, buddy. You can't ink yourself. His pencils were scratchy enough. His inking on that, man, was awful. Awful. It should be like a hate crime for John Byrne to ink himself. That's just my opinion, of course. I got the Byrne Generations hardcover. I only got it because it was $5 at Dollar. Whoa, you're kidding me. The omnibus? I got the omnibus for pretty cheap, but not that cheap. I read it and gave it away at someone else. You got an omnibus for $5 at Dollarama? I don't even know what Dollarama is, but seriously, Guag, that's amazing. I got it a couple of years back, and it was like It was really cheap for an omnibus. Yeah, Joe Doug. Yeah, Star Trek Generations movie sucks, but I'm talking about John Byrne's Superman, Batman Generations. That's quite a find there, buddy. But that book really gets weird. Oh, holy crap. He does some disturbing shit in there. Some of it's okay. If he had a good inker, it would have looked fantastic. But it needs to be like a federal crime or something. He should be he should be prosecuted for inking himself on it. It's so freaking awful. Holy crap. Anyway, then he started he went to IDW and started writing Star Trek comics. And a lot of them were pretty good. He can write, turns out he can write Star Trek. That's his thing. Looks pretty good. They were all tangent. I mean, they weren't like regular Star Trek stories. There were Star Trek characters on the periphery type stuff he did, but they were pretty good. Some short stories and stuff. And I liked them. Star Trek Crew, Star Trek. What was the Gary 7 one? The Assignment Earth or whatever. Some Romulan short stories and Klingon stories. I mean, they did some good stuff. They all got compiled into a big book. And then he started doing those Star Trek photo novels where he didn't have to draw anything anymore. Not to be confused with the old photo novels of the 70s. And these photo books where he would basically, they're fumettis. I don't know if you know what a fumetti is. It's basically pictures, all actual photos clipped together with word balloons to tell stories like a comic book. Except he used Photoshop. He didn't clip anything up. And he did Star Trek stories that took place in the original series. They got a bunch of them, and they were expensive too. Those suckers they were 10 something a pop. But that got old, and so I stopped buying some. I bought a few of them. They just like they were like $11, $12 or 10, 11, whatever. Wow, dude, seriously? They were in prestige format. They look good. Some of the stories were all right that I read, but God knows how many he did of those. So yeah, I mean, it's what are you gonna do? It's Byrne. But he was fickle, man. And of course he was doing some stuff on his website, I believe. He did he wanted to do some, X-Men. I know he did X-Men Hidden Years. That's another way he did. But he wanted to finish up some X-Men stories, do some sagas his own way. And he's put them he didn't sell them. He put them online where people could read them on the site or whatever. Some people took them and printed them and made books of them and stuff. The Gary 7 sequel he did was enjoyable. Yeah, it was. I liked that one. I liked Star Trek Crew. I liked the Star Trek, the one with Captain April. That was Crew, Star Trek Crew. And Star Trek McCoy Leonard McCoy Frontier Docker. That was fun. Turned out he could write Star Trek stuff. Who knew? But as a writer, generally, I don't think John Byrne was a very good writer. Never did. I never thought. Look, okay when he was to control himself and he seemed interested in what he was doing. Like I said, the first couple of years of that Pepper, okay stuff. I hate his stupid reboot on Superman, but not everybody agrees on that. I realize revisionist pap. People who don't like the constant retcon and revisionism that's been done to comics ad infinitum. John Byrne may not be the first to do it, but he was one of the worst abusers obnoxiously. When he did it, he was obnoxious, and he's the guy that really popularized it. The main revisor. Nobody listens, so I don't care. He was a big superstar. I don't know what he's doing now. But I've seen him in a couple of times, and I didn't really. We didn't get along that much, but we didn't have to. Well, I won't go into it. But buddy of mine saw him at Chicago Con at one point many years ago, and he said he had his sign on his table. John Byrne said his sign on his table said, "Don't talk to me." And I was like, "Yeah." So why are you at the con then? Just stay home, man. You know, nobody. What an a-hole! It's like, really, your fans show up. The people who are fans of yours for some reason. As running Alpha Flight felt like he hated the character. Said Gwagnar. He did. I mean, I can see where you'd say that. He does seem to have a contempt for characters. I know what you mean. Dude's just messed up. And I think he had I don't know, it was like a stepson or a nephew. I forgot what it was. Like Kierwin Dwyer, I believe, who was a comic book artist for Marvel, who said that Byrne was a P-Rick. Everybody knows he's a P-Rick. I mean, everybody knows. Nothing new there. Well, if his voice was shot, Linrod, maybe his voice was shot and he could talk that day. I don't know. Yeah, Kieran Dwyer. Yeah, Dwyer. So, but if your voice is shot and you don't talk that way, you could put something more polite than that. Don't talk to me. Not that he's a polite guy. I mean, there's no way to be rude. If it's something legitimate, then don't sit there. And yeah. Somehow I doubt. I think he was just being a tosser. Being a tosser. I think it was just being a bit of a tosser. Like, yeah, so what are you gonna do? Anyway. Well. If anyone else has anything else, please speak now or forever hold your peace. I will address it. Or we'll just mosey on out of here, and call it a night. I'm not going to be like John Byrne and say, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Won't be doing that to you. You have 60 of your Earth seconds. Yes. I give you 60 seconds, Admiral. Watching the first episode of Brave and the Bold. I'm not a fan of Blue Beetle. Well, Joe Dog, I'm a fan of the original Blue Beetle. That one, I don't like him. I never liked him and never cared about him. At the end, but when I watched that first episode, when it first aired, I kind of liked him a little bit. But after that, you get so many good team-ups. With so many great characters, and it just gets better and better. But I mean, you might not like it. It may not be the cartoon for you. But if you keep giving it a chance, you might. I ended up kind of liking Jaime after that one. And he would pop up sporadically on the show. He was on one what I really liked that had the Ted Cord Blue Beetle. And on that show, you just get so much good stuff. So much great silver. It's a love letter to Silver Age comics. However, Joe Dog, if you don't like it, I mean, like I said, I understand. But if I'd be interested in your opinion one way or the other, whether you like it, whether you don't. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. Again, like I said, I never cared one way or the other for the Jaime Blue Beetle until I saw that. And then I kind of liked him from that show. I didn't read his comic after that or anything. I take the Ted Cord any day. Yeah, well, like I say, just let me know what you end up thinking, Joe Dog. I'm interested in your opinion on that. Making me want to go watch it right now. You guys will laugh at me. I don't know why. See, you ever just do something you're not sure why you're doing it? Like, I don't get the chance to watch stuff for myself. So I watch a bunch of different things that are for review, as you know. I don't get much time. Just go up in the daytime and at the night. In daytime, I can't. I have messed up streaming, so I can't really stream much because I'm doing certain things. And then at night, I'm right here in front of this microphone almost 7 days a week. So I have to watch when I do my reviewing of Voyager or whatever the hell, or Blake 7 or Night Stalker or what all the stuff I have to review. I do it late at night when I end up finishing here. So 2 or 3 in the morning, 2, 4 in the morning sometimes. So I don't get to watch what I want to watch all the time. I do review stuff, but the first couple of days a week, I kind of watch something. I get my chance to watch something I want to watch, and sometimes I can think of stuff, sometimes I can't. So a couple of weeks back, I don't know why, I'm sitting around and I have a lot of these movies buried somewhere. I got a lot of I'm moving around a bunch of my DVDs and Blu-rays. I'm flipping through the Disney Plus thing. Don't shoot me. I don't subscribe, but I have some codes. I have my daughter's codes, and she lets me watch her code so I can watch certain things on there. And so I'm flipping around on the Disney thing. I've been watching a couple of the cartoons, like the Silver Surfer cartoon, but I've watched it so many times, And I wanted to see. And I don't know how this happened. I just got in a weird mood. You ever get just like you're flipping and trying to find something to land on that you can watch, sit and relax for a couple hours? Well, I saw this thing on there. It's the Infinity Saga. And it starts, of course, with Iron Man, the first movie from 2008, the Robert Downey Jr. movie. And I've seen the Marvel MCU movies a ton of times. Most of them. So I said, I watched it, It was a couple of weeks back. And then I said, I haven't seen that Incredible Hulk movie in a while. So let me watch that. I don't like Iron Man 2 at all, but I said, let me just watch. I decided by the way, it's under the auspices of Infinity Saga, right? And I said, you know what? Maybe I'll just watch the Infinity Saga again. I know I'll stop after that. So you go in order, and you got Iron Man, Hulk, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Electric Boogaloo, Thor, Captain America, the First Avenger. Then you got Marvel's The Avengers. So it was kind of fun watching those all, even though I don't like Iron Man 2. It didn't even bother me this time as much. It sucks. It's a shitty movie, but you can still sit through a shitty movie sometimes. Love Avengers. But anyway, so I'm watching that. I'm watching those. Then I said, do I keep going? Whatever. Yeah. Watched Iron Man 3. I don't like it. I think it sucks, but it didn't really bother me. It's all right. I decided, maybe I'll just watch the whole Infinity Saga again. Just watch, not hurry, no hurry. Just when I have nothing to watch, I'll just flick one on in order. So I've been doing that for the past week, 2 weeks, I guess. In order. Even the shorts, it's got the Marvel short films as well. So I'm all the way up to, last night I got all the way up to Thor Ragnarok, a movie that I love and hate. It's really entertaining, but I hate all the damage it does to Thor. Oh, before that, I had to sit through Spider-Man Homecoming, which I freaking hate. And yet, it's an entertaining movie, but if you don't mind all the damage it does to how it changed this, it just changed Spider-Man too much. It pisses me off. So I got done with Thor Ragnarok last night. And do you know the next one is, oh my God, the next one is Black Panther, a movie I hate. And after that, Captain Marvel. So in order to get to Infinity War, can I sit through Black Panther and Captain Marvel again? Do I do that? Just so I can watch the whole Infinity Saga and stop after Endgame? Can I sit there? I mean, maybe if there was a good one in between the two. Man, oh man. I can sit through mediocre ones, but Black Panther, I'm sorry, I don't understand why anybody likes that crap. Just play them at 2 times the speed, says Liz Rock. Just play the movies at 2 times the speed. It might be mildly amusing. Yeah, I guess it probably would be. Maybe I'll get lucky and fall asleep. I haven't been able to sleep much lately. So, seriously, man, do I want to... I'm still I could just skip them, right? Probably. I mean, I'm thinking it won't be, I don't think it'll be against the law. Because I've actually forced myself. I saw Black Panther in the theater because I was excited about it. I mean, I love Black Panther. I thought he was pretty cool in Civil War. We'll see what happens. Hated it. I walked out sort of trying to convince myself I liked it, but it ended up just not. It wouldn't work. I didn't like it. Saw it again, grew to hate it, and then watched it again one more time to make sure. Do I hate it that much? Let me see. And I did. A good lot. You've been years back now. Watched it again, hated the living crap out of it. Rest in peace, the great Chadwick Boseman, who was wonderful in the role. I just think he got screwed out of the role in this one. He got screwed over in this movie, in my opinion. And then I was dumb enough. I'm one of those idiots dumb enough to go see Captain Marvel at the theater for a cheap feature early so I could review it back then. No excuse, I know. And I hated it. It kind of put me in a coma. So I'm thinking, can I sit through that movie again? Now I'm getting the good stuff. Episode 2, Plastic Man. Yep, loving it. Oh, cool, Joe. Well, cool. Take the movies, rearrange the scenes like Pulp Fiction Prophet. Oliver Belamonte says, Clobby, there are speculated rumors of a Booster Gold TV series, yet Gunn is silent about it. Fans are guessing it's between actors Chris Pratt or Glenn Powell. I don't think I know Glenn Powell, do I? Who might be casted as Booster Gold. Well, I don't see Booster. I mean, I don't know if Chris Pratt's going to do a TV show. He might. Chris Pratt's a good choice for Booster Gold, I think. I don't know. I don't think I know who Glenn Powell is. Not up to speed on that. So I'm just thinking, I mean, I might be able to sit through Black Panther again. It's going to be tough. But Black Panther and then Captain Marvel, I think I've sat through those enough. I think I'm going to skip. I think I am. I'm just going to skip to Infinity War. Screw those movies. Fuck them. Seriously. I don't think I could do that. I'll let you guys know. I was going to let you vote, but you're all going to vote. Watch. You're going to want me to watch them. I know you. Let's see. Should I? Let's see. Make a poll here, folks. Should I, Clubby, watch B P and Marble? Or should I? Okay. There we go. I'll let you decide. Should I watch them or just skip this one? It's not like I own them or anything. So yeah, let's see here. Well, now you can. Let's see. That's the poll. I'll leave it up there for a second. Because you know what, I've actually been doing this. I've been relatively enjoying it. Obviously, I have problems with a lot of the movies, but I've been enjoying it. Remember, it used to be kind of fun to look forward to an MCU movie. Now they're MCU, I know, but when they were MCU, they were fun. Even a flawed one, it was fun to look forward to them. Uh-oh. See? JT Kirk's going to vote to punish me. I think I've made up my mind I'm not going to do it. Not gonna do it. I might just go and watch Infinity War, which is I love. Thank you, guys. How many votes we have yet? 7 votes. No. Wow, some sicko voted yes. Wow. What kind of pal are you? Son Lee. What kind of pal would do that to me? Man, oh man. Come on, fess up. Who did it? In all seriousness, I've always said I can sit through anything, even if it sucks. And I can. I mean, I can. If it sucks, it's not the end of the world. It's time you waste, yes. JT Kirk, you are a sicko, man. Why would you do that? What have I ever done to you, man? Look at that. You're saying, I am Kirok. I am sicko. So, I know you, and I know you like Brie Larson. That's cool, man. There's nothing wrong with it. Look, I'll be upfront. Look, to be honest, I don't think she's horrible. I mean, I don't think she's a horrible looking woman. I think she said some insufferable shit. She's a dumbass in some ways, but that's years ago. She said some stupid ass crap. There've been Hollywood idiots who've done way worse. So I'm not the big fan of her or anything. She is a bit of a prat, but they're way worse Hollywood shitters than me. You love the lady from the ankles on up. Do you now? So you prefer she didn't have anything below the ankles? That's what you're saying. That'd be kind of tough for her to get around. Chris Hemsworth. I like this one. I hated that scene. Greatest line delivery in the history of filmmaking. The power he had to call upon to get this line out without vomiting. Yeah. It did stretch credulity, did it? Actually, in Endgame, I didn't think she was so bad because we don't have to put up with her that much. It didn't really bother. I mean, she was around at the beginning. She was just being there, one of the guys. Oh, I know that's sexist. And then at the end, she comes around and helps him, and that's it. Boom, she pops up for one of the scene, but then so yeah. We definitely don't need to talk about that. You're right, buddy. She's got some funky feet, people are saying. I don't want to hear about feet. Mars Monkey Max. I will say this, even though the MCU is not accurate to the comics, it was much better when Stanley was giving it direction than since after Endgame. I got news for you, Mars Monkey Max. Stanley had zero input to any of that stuff. He was there to do cameos. Good to see him, MM, by the way. And that was that. He had no input whatsoever. He's always been a figurehead. In fact, he's had no input in any Marvel movie or production of any kind ever. He was there. They put him up there as like the executive producer. He didn't do squat. Nothing, and it's questionable he had anything to do with any of the creation of many of the characters anyway. So, but anyway, neither here nor there. They were good for a while until they started infesting with the agenda. Endgame is the most frustrating movie I've ever seen because it's got all kind of great stuff and all kind of garbage in there. Linrod said, why would you look at her feet? Very sus. I didn't. I don't. Just like when number one, when Raquel's talking about, was it 7 of 9's feet or something in the for the Voyager episodes we've been doing. I'm like, she has feet? Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm glad she has feet because it would be kind of crazy to get around without them. So I've never seen her feet, never noticed it, but she's always talking about it. Her big feet this or her big feet that. It's going crazy on me about it. I'm like, okay, but I just never saw them. I can't name you one. Name me a time when the camera shows 7 of 9's feet, for God's sake. I mean, maybe it happens. I've never seen it. And nor do I give a shite, but I've never seen it. I mean, I know I'm not Quentin Tarantino, so I don't look for that crap. And I've known other guys into that sort of thing. If you're into that sort of thing, it's fine, whatever, man. It's no big deal. Because if it's a fetish, it's not your fault anyway. It just happened to you. It's weird. But Jesus Christ, I guess I'm not looking for it. But even if you're talking about like a TV show or a movie, I guess you could pause something and look for the feet in certain shots. They were kind of hard to miss when in shot, says Stephen Mack. Yeah, but I don't remember them being in shot that much. I mean, I'm sure they have. I mean, they show people's feet in shots, of course, in movies and TV. I understand that. But I'm not even thinking about it, I guess. MMM says, I don't know, Clobby, I can see the clear distinction between the stiff that came out when Stan Lee was alive, then after his death. Well, it had nothing to do with him. He has no power. He was doing cameos. Remember when he passed, he was like 90 something. And he did cameos. He had no creative input at all with any of that stuff. That may have changed. I don't know. He did cameos in a lot of lousy movies too. He did a cameo in every movie that I'm making. Remember, even after he passed, he'd already done some cameos in some really bad movies. He did a cameo in Captain Marvel. He did a cameo in Far From Home, right? Didn't he? I mean, his cameos lasted up until a couple of years after he was gone. They were still coming out. So all he did was walk on a set. He did Endgame, yeah. Endgame was Captain Marvel and Endgame. He didn't have any after that? Okay. But yeah, no, I'm just saying, I guess anytime I know people's feet show up in movie shots, I just never really look. I mean, I don't think about it one way or the other. And when let's say you got a shot where you're seeing a full all of 7 of 9. Those were the last two. Thank you, MMM. I didn't realize that. So when you see 7 of 9 walking down a corridor, for example, I guess if you look and try to, pay attention, I guess you could see your feet sometimes. I don't pay attention to that. When I see 7 of 9 walking anywhere, even if they're showing the whole thing, my eyes aren't down there. Instinctively, my eyes are considerably higher up. If you know what I'm saying. Her or any woman, to be honest with you. My eyes are way up top. Way higher than that. Just saying. Yeah, the bounce is more important for sure. Indeed. So, I guess, folks, we can start moseying on out of here. You know what they say about big feet, says JT. JT, I'm so sad what you did to me. All right, let's see here. Oh my God, man. 10 votes. And I barely escaped. I'm ending it now. Last chance. There you go. So, 10 votes. The question was, should I watch? I'm watching the Infinity Saga for no particular reason. I told why earlier. Watch a BP, meaning the first Black Panther movie, which I hate. I just watched Ragnarok last night. So the next two are BP and Crap Ton Marvel. And Crap Ton Marvel, or just skip. I should have wrote, or just skip to. I'd have to write that. It's that, or I skip to Infinity War. And I lucked out. No, get 60%, but 40% of you bastards said yes. Come on, fess up. Who did it? Good night, Joe Dog. Man, like Steven said, closer than I thought. You guys are sick. Wow, no, not to trust these guys anymore. Wow. Yeah. Stan said in an interview he could try. He was, they don't care what Stan says. Matthew says, never watched Captain Marvel, never will. Well, yeah, you don't have to. I don't believe. I mean, yeah, there's no. I still don't believe it made $1 billion. I refuse to believe it. I refuse. I know it was, it was riding the wave of Black Panther and Infinity War coming up. Maybe half that, and that would be stretching it. But obviously, what do I know? I guess they did, but some shenanigans going on there. Either way, why did it take them like 40,000 years to do a so-called sequel, and they couldn't even call it Captain? They didn't even have the balls to call it Captain Marvel 2: Electric Boogaloo. You could clearly see, says Monkey Max. Or Monkey Max says, you could clearly see the downhill trend during Captain Marvel and Endgame, yet they were still better than anything that came after. Captain Marvel was pretty terrible. Endgame was a disgrace because it had so much wonderful in it and so much terrible in it. Mars Monkey Max says Guardians 3 was all right. Yeah, I liked Guardians 3 a lot. I thought it was pretty good. Aside from that, I actually wasn't the biggest fan of No Way Home like most people were. If that's not shocking for you. So anyway, all right, we're going to start making our way out here, my friends. It's been great having you. Let's do some show notes and some shout outs, shall we? Yeah. All right, show notes. Tomorrow night, I should be hanging with the great Tom Connors and the Midnights After Dark Boys. 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 Eastern. That's Tuesdays and Wednesday nights. I skip Tuesdays and Thursday nights. I can't get anything right. It's because I'm so sad that so many of you almost tried to talk me into watching it. Make me watch something I shouldn't have to watch. Good night, Oliver. So Tuesdays and Thursday nights I'm there with Tom, Midnight After Dark. Wednesday nights at 7. Often is the case. I'll be at Stone Loki's great channel, my good buddy Stone Loki, hosting the Comic Book Roundtable. And then Wednesday night. It'll be me right back here with you. I'm not going to be dumb enough to run any polls to risk having doing something terrible again like I did tonight. But yeah, I'll be here Wednesday night doing some wildcard open geekness with you all. This time won't be just comics. It won't be limited just to comics. It'll be all kind of other fun. Whatever goes. And then Thursday night, again at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, it is the Clubhouse is back in session with our wonderful First Officer Commander R.M. Briggs and the great Chief Engineer Mark D with a C, and I have, let's see, another Blake 7 episode review, Power Play, another Kolchak the Night Stalker episode review, and then possibly a Star Trek Unlimited comic book review. Always fun, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Please join us. Then, of course, on my buddy J-Man's channel, every Friday, it's Fantastic Friday, 7 Eastern, 6 Central Time. J-Man, Sean, and myself, we are continuing our ongoing mission. This will be we've been doing this for a short time now, but we're all the way up. We're getting up there, reviewing the great King of Comics, Jack Kirby's legendary run on the world's greatest comic magazine, Fantastic Four 1 through 102, annuals 1 through 6. Again, Sean, J-Man, and Clobberin doing the reviewing, and it's a lot of fun. We start this week. We have Fantastic Four 28, 29, 30, and 31. So, yeah, I believe so. Yeah, there we go. So, that is going to be fun, tons of fun. And, of course, on the J-Man, after J-Man show on there, I'll be on the great 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser's channel, as I often am on Friday nights, with the Friday Night Comic Shop Boys. 8:30 Central, we will be reviewing 4 more issues of Amazing Spider-Man with the great guest, the Romita run, by the way, with a great guest, the extraordinary D-Bud Martin. Shout out to our wrenches, of course. Eric K, Chris Persia, D-Bud Martin, Lord Thoth, J-Man, Maximum Redstone, Phantom Outsider, Larry, Wagner, Kirok, Maddie's Daddy, and Kal-El. And I want to thank you all for being here with us tonight. Oliver Melamonte, thank you. Picasso, thank you so much. Mars Monkey Max, Linrod, let's see who else. Matthew Pounder, my friend. Stephen Mack, John Platt, Joe Dog, Son Lee. Could not be raised for further comment. Thanks a check. I think Keely Chow popped in. Yeah, Keely Chow. Roll Tide. Oh, Princess Fiona was here. Minimusness was here. Ravenscroft. Let's see. I guess got most people here. A few other ones. There we go. All right. Well, looks like got most of everybody here tonight. But I want to thank everyone who's watching or lurking or watching on a download or a rerun or watching over there at X. It is much appreciated. Thank you all. Max, let's see, I've got Max already. Yep, I'm just double checking, make sure I got everybody. Narada and Axamander was here. Oh, yeah. I think Claude Sowling was here, and so was Penny. And I think your Muslim uncle popped in, right? He sure did. Or did he? I think he did, yeah. And, of course, the great 1701 Tex F.A. Tex was here. FKH, I think FKH popped in. Tim was here. Something blurring my lines with some of the people that was over at J-Man's. Adrian James. Anonymous Gamer. Canadian Spidey popped in today. Wow. Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. Okay. All right, so looks like got everybody. Do I have everybody? Yeah, I think I got everybody. Looks like it's going to be everybody has been here. All right. Okay, so, yeah, just making sure everybody wants to shout everybody out, and I think I have. Except for Lane Morris, of course. And Pat S. Pat S was here. See what you get if you don't go all the way to the end. You get, yeah. Oh, well, DJ Ronnie G popped in. What'd I tell you? So, all right, that, I do believe that, oh, me and my monkey was here. So, that is cool. Thank you all for being here with me tonight, everybody. And have a great week. Happy Memorial Day. Again, shout out to the wonderful people who gave of their lives for the freedom that we enjoy. We can never repay it, folks, but at least appreciate the freedom by trying to always stand up for it and stand up for them and their memory. And good night.
You have to set an example even in the face of stupidity. Now, everybody that reads comic books knows that Kirby's Silver Surfer is the only true Silver Surfer.
I just love clobbering time.